It's that most wondrous time of the year. In most of the Western world, the biggest holiday, Christmas, is celebrated on December 25th. And to get into the spirit, for today's episode, I'm going to taste test some traditional Christmas sweets from around the world. And I got my Christmas jammies on with the elastic waist, so I'm ready to go. One place to find just such a haul is the Cost Plus World Market.
During Christmas, Cost Plus pulls out all the stops and stocks a huge selection of holiday sweets from the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Belgium, Sweden, Denmark, and even some nostalgic North American treats. I found a ton of Europeans here shopping for their hometown goodies.
There are so many yummy items here, but I think I got a good selection for our taste test, so let's head back. Fruitcakes. That much maligned Christmas treat that people love to hate. The US version is disgusting, but it's beloved in Europe and each country has its own version. The original was a leavened honey cake from 2nd century Rome. Modern Italian versions include the uber popular Milanese panettone, which is essentially a sweetbread that's studded with candied fruits and nuts, and you can find in most grocery stores. Then there's Tuscan Panforte, which is an actual cake, and this, Pandoro, which is from Verona. Let's open it up. Traditionally, it's baked into a star shape and then dusted on the outside with powdered sugar, although this one isn't, to resemble a snow-covered Christmas tree. Inside is a simple sweetbread, which is great if you don't like all those candied fruits and nuts. That's pretty moist and buttery. It's a lot spongier than I would have given it credit for. Now, the one downside is if you don't get it fresh from a bakery, because the bread is so plain and pure and unadulterated, you really can taste the chemicals and all the preservatives in the processed ones. I'm gonna give that Pandoro 4 out of 10, just because the Cost Plus one is really highly processed. I'm sure if I could get my hands on a fresh one, that rating would come up. Fun fact, there's an ongoing battle between the panettone lovers and the Pandoro lovers each Christmas in Italy. I think I like the Pandoro better. Germans also have a huge variety of Christmas cakes, including Stollen, Zimsterne, and Lleb Kuchen honey cakes, also known as gingerbread. And it's not the cookie that we're most familiar with in the States. Real German gingerbread is soft and cakey. There are many different types of Lleb Kuchen, but this kind is called a Lleb Kuchen, which is mostly ground nuts that are held together with honey. And they come dipped in either chocolate or a sugar glaze. This one is an apple sugar glaze. There's sort of a nice thick coating of chocolate. I wish there was some smell-o-vision because it smells fantastic. Hey, let's give it a try. Not as gingery as I would have thought. Very chocolatey. Here's kind of what it looks like inside. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting this to be much spicier. Let's try one of the apple ones. Oh my God, that apple smells so good. This one you get a better view of the gingerbread, and if you flip it around, look at that. It's like a little communion wafer on the back. Oh, I think I like this one way better than the chocolate. The chocolate tends to overpower the gingerbread. This one, the sugar glazing is really light, and I can actually taste the nuts in this. I'm actually kind of surprised because this Lleb Kuchen's pretty dry. Yeah, apple's better. I give these Cost Plus a Lleb Kuchen 6 out of 10. Pleasant, but I wish that the spice flavor was stronger and that they were moister. Fun fact number 2, a Lleb Kuchen can only be made by the Bakers Guild in the city of Nuremberg, Germany, where they also happen to have the most famous Christmas market in the world. Bakers will often sell their Lleb Kuchen there in the shape of hearts in the stalls, and it's kind of a precursor to the gingerbread men. At Cost Plus, there was a huge section of ginger spice products, and I found out that ginger is a pretty popular flavor in Northern Europe, kind of like pumpkin here in the United States. They had the Lleb Kuchen, German Spekulatius, which are kind of the equivalent of Dutch speculoos, and they had these Swedish pepperkakors. Hopefully I said that right. Pepperkakors are ginger snaps, and I got this seasonal cranberry flavor to try. Very different from the Lleb Kuchen. These ones are super thin and snappy like a biscuit. Crunchy. Kind of tastes like brown sugar and oats. like a brown sugar oatmeal cookie. Yeah, just like the Lleb Kuchen, the ginger flavor in this is not ultra strong. Doesn't taste spicy at all. In fact, I can hardly taste any ginger or spice in this. There's barely a hint of it. It's like eau de ginger, and there's zero cranberry taste. Fun fact number 3. Pepperkakors are traditionally eaten at Swedish fika, their coffee break, which is kind of the equivalent to English tea. And it wasn't until the 1800s when these became popular over Christmas time. And if you like to build gingerbread houses, guess what? The tradition comes from Sweden. Swedes would build pepparkakshouse with shaped ginger snaps. Across from this ginger love fest was an entire aisle of British Christmas goodies, including their version of fruitcake, the famous Christmas pudding, as well as the uber popular tins of Scottish shortbread, and the intriguing but very gross sounding mincemeat pies, which they serve at holiday meals. The original mincemeat pies did in fact have minced meat in the filling, with dried bits of fruit, nuts, and hard liquor added in order to preserve it. Modern versions have eliminated the meat and the lard, even though they continue to call it mincemeat pie. I got this version here, which has festive bits of cranberry and orange in it. Got the traditional pastry shell here and the fruit filling, which has been boiled down with some spices. And then it's topped with a crumble of flour and brown sugar. That was messy. Very flaky pie crust. That filling is quite sweet, probably because they boiled it down. It's pretty concentrated. Overall flavor is not bad. You can definitely taste the orange in this and the tartness from the cranberry, and there's bits of plum currant in this as well. This is definitely a little bit gingery and cinnamony too. I am pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna give this 6.5 out of 10. The pie crust is spot on, and you could taste all of the individual flavors of the fruits and all of the spices. The only thing I didn't like is how sweet it was. So if they toned that down a little bit, probably would have scored a little bit higher. And moving within the British Commonwealth, Canadian Christmas foods are kind of a blend between American and British traditions, but I did find this, which is very uniquely Canadian. It is maple sugar candy. I wouldn't say this is so much a Christmas food as a fall-winter staple. In the olden days, fur trappers used to drink hot maple syrup to fortify themselves against the brutal winters up in Canada. But nowadays, Canadians just love to eat it in everything. It is so much a part of the culture in Canada that when I was a little kid, we used to make yearly school field trips to the maple farms to learn how to collect it and process it. Can you see it? It's pretty soft. It's just granules of pure maple syrup that have been pressed into this maple leaf design. Tastes like childhood. Maple's got this really delicious, smoky caramel quality to it. I love it. I'm gonna have another one. So simple joys in life. 8 out of 10 for nostalgia. I have saved the best for last. Anyone growing up here in the US will remember getting one of these in their Christmas stockings. It's a Terry's chocolate orange ball. Before we eat it, there's a whole routine to this. First, we gotta pull out the orange ball. Then we're gonna break it because it actually ships all molded together. Then we peel back the sticker here, open the foil. See those beautiful orange segments inside? Look how adorable these are. Even the segments are molded to look just like oranges. It's not fine chocolate, but it's pretty good quality. You can either get it in a dark chocolate or a milk chocolate. It's sweet and smooth and creamy with just a hint of orange. I love fruity chocolate, so 9 out of 10 for me. Fun fact number 4. While researching for this episode, I discovered that Terry's is actually a British brand and that the tradition of stuffing these into stockings started there. And then it spread globally. So now even South Korea has this tradition. Neat, huh? That we all have this one tradition in common? So wherever in the world you are this Christmas, here's hoping that you get a Terry's orange chocolate ball in your stocking. Cheers.